I want to give a shout out to Anchor, which is the platform I'm using for this podcast. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There is a creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So, guys, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I'm going to repeat the Anchor is anchor.fm. Okay, guys, so if you have anything in your mind that you want to share with the world, just download the app and start straight away. Let's go back to this episode.
Welcome to Tenkaichi Podcast, number one under heaven for martial discussion. And now get ready for the new episode. Hi everybody, I'm Simone Marini. I'm a martial art instructor. I teach Shaolin mostly. And in this podcast, I want to talk about martial arts and everything that goes around entertainment, philosophy, everything. This first episode, I chose a topic a little bit general. Which martial art should I choose? So some people maybe is interested to join a martial art class. And so because there are so many martial arts, somebody can think which one is the best for me. Are they all the same? Of course not. So first of all, I want to address something really important. The goal, the objective of why you should join a martial art class. So is it because you want to stay fit? Is it because you want to stay healthy? Do you have a passion for the Asia, for the Eastern? And of course, don't forget, martial arts are not only from Asia. Mostly we think about Japan, China, and Korea, Vietnam. But there are also European martial arts, there are Brazilian martial arts. So there are many different martial arts. Maybe somebody is interested in Brazil and wants to join a Brazilian martial art because you want to learn more about the culture. Do you want to know how to fight? Do you want to know how to defend yourself? These are really very important goals, because if you choose a martial art that is not good for your goal, you're gonna fail, you're gonna give up. And let's start talk about different type of discipline, because martial arts is a really broad terminology. So let's say martial arts are the traditional one: karate, Shaolin, Wing Chun, Viet Vo Dao, Taekwondo. Even if some of those can be shifted in different topics. Capoeira. Then there are combat sports like wrestling, kickboxer, boxing, judo, and taekwondo also is a type of combat sport because it's like a Olympics discipline. Military arts like Krav Maga and Russian Sistema, and self-defense. Self-defense is also a broad terminology. Some martial arts masters teach self-defense using specific techniques of their discipline, or using Krav Maga and Sistema. Okay, but is for a specific goal. So, what's your goal? Well, what do you want to do? Do you want to stay fit? Do you want to stay better to yourself? I would recommend a traditional martial art because mostly is practicing by yourself. So it's solo, even if you are with other people, but you don't have too much contact. And usually the martial art, if it's not an extreme, if you don't do like tournament, like forms tournament, you don't need to push to the extreme. Okay, even if the martial art is built for that. But if you just go for fitness, you can practice karate, you can practice Shaolin, just to stay healthy, no problem. Do you want to learn how to fight? Well then, if you like fighting, combat sports. Let's go boxing, let's go kickboxing, MMA. There is I should talk specific only one episode for MMA, but yes, most MMA class teach how to fight. I mean, all MMA teach how to fight, but because MMA is a big terminology, but you will fight, you will punch, you will kick, and everything else. Jujitsu, judo. If Jujitsu even is a martial art, is a traditional, it's based on the contact, so you can't practice by yourself. Jiu-jitsu, also judo. Judo is more sport because it's more with rules, but it's okay. Wrestling, you can do some wrestling. And you want to know how to fight on a real situation. Yes, that's different. Because combat sport teach you how to fight with rules. So if you just want to fight because you like the idea of fighting, yes, that's fine. If you want to fight because you need on a real situation, yes, the military art, also martial arts, but have to be taught for that purpose. So if in the traditional martial arts, you do the traditional things and then you fight also inside the class, then it will prepare you for fighting. Don't think that only because you are learning the technique, then you know how to apply it in a real situation. You need to practice with a companion. You need to practice how to fight. There's no escamotage. Do you think you need the self-defense? You need to learn self-defense because maybe you're bullied, maybe you work and you walk on the dark side of the city, so you want to feel more self-confident and don't be afraid. Well, I have to tell you, a self-defense class, it doesn't last a weekend, it doesn't last 6 weeks. A self-defense class have to last 1 year, and the year after. You have to keep practicing and keep practicing. It's like every other discipline, like combat sport, like martial art. You can't master the self-defense in 1 day. Okay, so think about a boxer. They have to go fight a match 1 against 1 with rules. He is gonna train hard for weeks, for months, and then he's ready for one fight. Self-defense, you have to be ready all the time. You don't know when they attack you, so you have to be always ready. But we're gonna talk about this also, this self-defense things on a different, probably next week. So now you set your goal, and you know, basically you have in your mind what to do. Well, first you have to also think about yourself. How's your body? Do you want something more dynamic? Do you want something more static? You want something that focus on the inside energy, or focus on the kicks, focus on the punches, focus on the weapon. So, for example, let's say some more dynamic. Of course, somebody, if you're young, you like to fight. Maybe you saw the movie Jackie Chan and the other action movie, so you want to jump and kick. So it's like Shaolin is very good, have all punching and kicking, and also the acrobatic part. Taekwondo is really good with kicking, and also he has some more extreme kicks. You can do some tricks and everything. It's very good. Capoeira, there are different type of capoeira, but it's very dynamic. Okay, it's always moving, always turning, jumping on your hands. Not always jumping, but there's some side of the capoeira where you jump, other don't, but you're train your dexterity and everything. More static, karate, Wing Chun. When I say static, is like think about keep your feet on the ground. Okay, so you don't jump too much, you don't even kick too much. It's more focused on the higher part of your body. So if you like to punch, and let's say like Jujitsu, you stay on the ground, so it's a grappling. Judo also. Inside, focus on the Qi, Tai Chi, of course, Pa Kwa, Xing Ying, our Chinese martial art, Aikido, Yaido. Aikido, you work with your companion, but it's very internal as a martial art. Okay, it's not like Jujitsu. It's not very fighting focused. Yaido is the art of drawing the sword, and it's all about focusing inside, self-discipline. We set up, if you like kicks, capoeira, taekwondo, savate, the French combat sport, kickboxing, Muay Thai, even if you use more knees and elbows, but also kicks. If you like punch, Western box, Wing Chun, karate, and there's sure others, because there are so many martial arts. Sorry if we don't have time to have all the list of the martial arts. It's just a broad view, just to let you know that how to pick. You can go and search maybe. And if you have any idea, if you can write me and ask, Simone, which are the best punching martial arts? Which are the best dynamic martial arts? And we can focus all one episode of that topic. Or we talk about weapons. There are martial arts that focus on weapon, like fencing, sport, like Olympics fencing, Kenjutsu, it's Japanese sword fight. Also in the Shaolin, you use weapons. So the Shaolin is very, very broad, because you have punching, kicking, jumping, and weapons. Other martial arts with weapon, some Japanese martial arts focus on the weapons, like what they call ninjutsu. We will have an episode about ninjutsu, I promise you. Some European martial arts, we have Italian fencing, and it's very medieval martial art, is very, very interesting. So now you know your goal, you know your type of body, and you know what to choose. And now which one? You have to think about the distance and the price of this class. Of course, if you don't mind, you don't care which martial art, to choose. Just you want to go and learn something, you go and search for the closest martial art class on your area. But if you know which martial arts you want to learn and there's not really close by, is it worth it to travel a little bit far? I'll say yes. If you want to learn Shaolin and you have to travel for 20, 30 minutes, I don't know, 40 minutes, depend where you live, because close by you have only judo, and we find out with this today that judo is not for you. You want Shaolin. If you go on judo because it's the closest one, you will give up in 3 months maybe, or maybe you discover you like it and you stay. Okay, it's always the opportunity. But if you want that martial art, I say go there. What about the pricing? Here is a really sensitive topic. In our head, we think that because something costs more, that means it's value more. Something that costs less, value less. And sometimes it's true. Sometimes it's not true. Sometimes the master will raise the price to show that it's more valuable, but we don't know if it's true. We need to try. If you have the opportunity to make one class with this master and check how he teach and what he teach, so you can check the quality. If, for example, you see a master that to teach his students to get tough, he punched in the face, even with the gloves, I'll say it's not working. Why should we punch in the face from the master without even hit back? Okay. If it's part of the lesson and then you have to fight with your companion and you receive a punch in the face, it's okay, it's fine, it's part of the rules. But if you have to stay still and receive a punch in the face just to get tough, you don't get tough. You get injury in your brain. Okay. Also, if your master slam down the students to show how good he is, and maybe slam down kids, okay, no, it's not really worthy. Remember, the respect that you give to the master have to be earned by the master, okay, not pretend by the master. So yes, check the price, and if it's worthy, pay a little bit more. It's worthy. Okay, you will receive more, you will gain more, and you will stay more inside this discipline. The frequency, how many times should I train? The best, it will be 3 times a week. So you have 1 day to rest and a weekend. But sometimes not all the gym give 3 days. Sometimes the master don't have 3 days to teach. And so usually 2 days is the normal. So 2 days is good. And if you can't train 2 days a week, you can only 1 day a week, my advice is to train by yourself when you don't go to the gym, so you can keep the technique, you keep the physicality and what you learned through the week. Okay, so you need more self-discipline in this way. I want to address something that really touched me. I told you I teach Shaolin, and I had a few times parents coming with the children, which is a really good thing. I think more children need the martial art training when they're young, but they're coming and they're telling me, yes, my son or my daughter need discipline. So that's why I brought it here. Thinking that the master have to teach discipline to become like the little Shaolin kids that stay in a mabu, stay in a horse stance for a long time, maybe with a mug on their head or stick on their laps. Of course, the traditional martial art, especially traditional martial art, you need discipline, and the master will teach discipline. But if the kid don't want to do the technique, don't want to do the exercise, and he or she refuses to do the exercise, the master can't force it. She can't beat the kid. She can't punish the kid. And he can do it on the right way, but of course not physically, which in Shaolin, in China, but also in Russia, if you see the gymnastic, they are forced to. They can't. They scream, they cry, but they do the exercise because they know if they don't do the exercise, they receive a kick on the back, or they don't eat the lunch. So, do you think that these parents know what's behind this discipline in China? I don't think so. Or in Japan they're disciplined from when they're children. So that's why they're super good in the martial arts. So parents, teach discipline to your kids. And then when they get inside the martial art class, they will be better than other kids that don't have discipline. Okay, that's the main. And they will gain even more discipline inside the martial art. That's for sure. Have to be a two-way teaching, not only one-way teaching. The master doesn't really have authority on the children, especially in this time that if you may punish a little bit, even not physically, the kids will cry to the parents, and the kid don't want to come anymore. After said so, every martial art have their point, the good point, weak point, and I love all martial arts. I train also in other type of martial arts, so I see the beauty, I can see the weakness. There are some martial arts that are more complete than others. It depends of what you want to use it for. Okay, because we don't have to go on a war. We don't have to become a ninja assassin. I hope so. So you can find the martial art that you like, that you feel more in tune with it. And when you find it, you will practice for many years. Even if you start on the old age or older or later in your life, you will, I don't think you start this martial art to become the best martial artist in the world. So don't be too hard on yourself. The master knows or should know who you are and your capability, what you can do, what you can't. If I start when I'm 30 years old and I'm not really stretchable, of course the master will not pretend me to do the split in a week, in a month, or never. Okay, the master will try to push me a little bit more and try to make me go a little bit lower, just a little bit. Instead, if you are 18, 20 years old, and you get inside a martial art and you want to become a pro, like you want to do tournaments, it can be fighting tournament, it can be even demonstration tournament, like for the traditional martial arts, the master will pretend more on you. He will push you more than the other. Even if you have the same age and one wants to do the fight and the other one don't want to do the fight on the ring, or the tournament on the mat, the master will pretend more of the one that the goal is higher. So, goal on your mind, you can tell also to your teacher, to your master, I have this goal, and he will help you. He or she will help you to achieve this goal. This is the first episode. So if you have anything, if you want to write me something, you want to give me some feedback for this episode, it was really a free episode. I want to talk a little bit freely, nothing really specific in my mind to tell. But the next episode will be more topic centered. We're gonna talk about a topic. If you have a topic in your mind, you can write me on Facebook or Instagram, Tenkaichi Tournament. And I will also leave a link there where you can also send me audio message if you want, and if you give me the disposition, I can also make you inside. I can put you inside the episode. Okay, sorry for my stumbling on my words. I have to keep practicing more. And I will leave you. Remember to always train and train good.